We're talking about Owen Benjamin Smith.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. And, he's a former comedian who's taken a very unconventional path.
You could say that again.
We're talking sitcoms to conspiracy theories.
Yeah, and a whole lot in between.
And to guide us through this digital maze, we're turning to a thread from the one and only Kiwi Farms.
Of course, because where else would you go to document the strange and sometimes disturbing world of online personalities?
Yeah, and this thread, it does not disappoint. I mean, it's got it all.
It's like a greatest hits of outrageous behavior.
Exactly. From his early acting roles to these really out there beliefs, this thread covers it all.
And it's not just the beliefs themselves, it's the intensity with which he holds them, the way he seems to attract controversy wherever he goes.
Right, like this guy's a walking, talking car crash,
Yeah.
and you just can't look away.
Exactly, and this thread gives us that front row seat to the wreckage.
So where do we even begin with Owen Benjamin Smith?
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about a guy who once shared the screen with Adam Sandler, and now he's ranting about dinosaurs being fake.
I know, right? Oh, it's quite a fall from grace, if you can even call it that.
And that's the thing, is it a fall from grace, or is this some kind of calculated transformation?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it's something that this Kiwi Farms thread really makes you think about.
Okay, so before we get too deep into the weeds, let's back up a bit. For those unfamiliar with the name, who is Owen Benjamin Smith, and how did he go from sitcoms to, well, this?
So Owen Benjamin Smith started his career in a relatively normal way. I mean, as normal as Hollywood gets.
Right.
He had some minor roles here and there, even landed a part in the Adam Sandler movie Jack and Jill.
Oh, wow, okay.
I know, right? But somewhere along the line, things took a turn. And I'm not talking about your average career slump.
This is a full-on spiral.
Exactly. He started making headlines for all the wrong reasons, getting into public feuds with other comedians and personalities, burning bridges left and right.
Like, who are we talking about here? Give me some names.
Oh, we're talking big names. Joe Rogan, Steven Crowder, even Alex Jones.
Whoa, hold on. If you're on Alex Jones's bad side, you've gone off the deep end.
Right. You'd think they'd be kindred spirits, but even Alex Jones wanted nothing to do with him.
So what happened? What went down?
Well, the thread mentions this pattern of accusing people of sodomy, throwing around conspiracy theories like confetti, and just generally being abrasive and confrontational.
Okay, so not exactly the best way to make friends and influence people.
Not unless those people are really into conspiracy theories and insults, I guess.
Right. It's like he's actively trying to alienate everyone.
And that's what's so fascinating about this whole thing. Is he doing it on purpose?
Yeah.
Is this some sort of weird performance art, or has he truly gone off the rails?
Well, and that's what we're here to unpack, right?
Exactly. We're going to dig into the beliefs, the controversies, the community that surrounds him, and try to make sense of it all.
Because there's something oddly compelling about a train wreck in slow motion.
Oh, absolutely. You shouldn't look, but you can't help yourself.
And in this case, the train wreck is Owen Benjamin Smith.
And boy, is it a doozy.
So let's dive in, shall we?
Let's do it.
So he's not winning any popularity contests, that's for sure. But what about the content itself? What's he actually saying that's attracting this following and causing so much drama?
Well, that's where things get really interesting, because we're not just talking about your run-of-the-mill controversial opinions here. We're talking full-blown conspiracy theories, the kind that make you question if he's serious or just messing with everyone.
Oh yeah, this is where the 147 IQ he claimed to have really comes into play.
Right, because some of this stuff is so out there, it's hard to believe anyone could actually believe it.
So hit me with the highlights. What are some of Owen Benjamin Smith's greatest hits in the world of conspiracy theories?
Well, buckle up, because this is where the ride gets bumpy. We're talking flat earth theory for starters.
Okay, so far so good. That's like conspiracy theory 101.
Right, but it doesn't stop there. He's also a big proponent of dinosaur denial.
Wait, he doesn't believe in dinosaurs? Is he serious?
Apparently not. He's got whole rants about how dinosaurs are a hoax made up by, you guessed it, the government.
Of course, because what's a good conspiracy theory without a little government cover-up thrown in for good measure?
Exactly, and it just gets wilder from there. He's got theories about the moon landing being faked.
Well, duh. Everyone knows the moon landing was fake.
Laughing, right. It's practically a rite of passage for conspiracy theorists these days.
Exactly, but it's not all fun and games, right?
Mm-hmm.
The thread also mentioned some pretty disturbing stuff, like this whole gay town thing. I'm almost afraid to ask, but what is that all about?
Yeah, that's where things take a darker turn. Gaytown refers to a rant that Owen Benjamin Smith went on where he basically claims that there are these secret communities of gay people trying to indoctrinate children.
Oh boy. That's not just wacky conspiracy theory territory anymore. That's straight up harmful rhetoric.
Exactly. And it's this kind of content that's led to a lot of people distancing themselves from him, even those who might have been sympathetic to some of his other views.
Yeah, because once you start going down that road of bigotry and hate speech, it's hard to come back from.
Exactly. And it makes you wonder about the people who are still drawn to him.
Mhm.
Who are these bears, as they call themselves, and what is it about Owen Benjamin Smith that resonates with them?
Right. It's like they bought into this whole persona, this idea that he's some kind of misunderstood genius, a lone wolf fighting against the system.
It's the classic appeal of the outsider, the one who claims to see the truth that everyone else is too blind to see.
And the internet is the perfect breeding ground for that kind of narrative.
Oh, absolutely. It's like a giant echo chamber where these ideas can bounce around and get amplified without any real challenge or scrutiny.
And that's what makes his whole case study so fascinating and frankly a little bit terrifying. Because it shows you the power of these online communities and how easily people can get sucked into these alternate realities.
Especially when those realities confirm their existing biases and make them feel like they're part of something bigger than themselves.
And that's the thing about Owen Benjamin Smith and his bears. It's not just about one guy's bizarre beliefs. It's about the community that's formed around those beliefs and the very real impact that they're having both online and off.
Exactly. And that's what we need to keep in mind as we delve deeper into this thread, because it's not just a collection of funny memes and outlandish claims. It's a glimpse into a world that's becoming increasingly common and increasingly dangerous.
So with that cheery thought in mind, shall we continue down this rabbit hole?
Let's do it. I'm strangely hooked on this whole thing.
Me too. It's like watching a car crash in slow motion. You know it's going to be bad, but you can't look away. It's wild to think that this is where we're at. Like, this is the world we live in now.
It's a trip, right? Like, the internet has always been this weird and wild place, but it feels like things are getting more and more extreme.
Well, and the lines are getting blurrier, too, between what's real and what's fake, what's satire, and what's just plain harmful.
That's Kiwi Farms in a nutshell, though, isn't it?
Right. It's like they're holding up this funhouse mirror to the internet, reflecting all the weirdness and darkness back at us.
And sometimes it's hard to tell if they're laughing with us or at us.
Or if they're even aware of the distinction.
Right. It's like they're so deep in this world of irony and detachment that they've lost sight of the real-world implications.
And those implications can be pretty serious, like we talked about earlier with the harassment of porcelain.
Exactly. That's the thing with these online communities. They can quickly spiral out of control, especially when they're led by someone who's already prone to extreme views.
And when those views are validated and amplified by a platform like Kiwi Farms, it can create this perfect storm of negativity.
And it's not just negativity, it's harm. It's real people getting hurt.
Right, and that's what makes this whole conversation so important. It's easy to dismiss Owen Benjamin Smith and his bears as a fringe group, a bunch of weirdos on the internet, but they're a symptom of a larger problem.
Exactly. And that problem is the way that the internet can be used to spread misinformation, hate speech, and incite real-world harm.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I guess the question is, what do we do about it?
Right. Like, how do we combat this without stifling free speech or turning the internet into some kind of sanitized dystopia?
It's a tough question, and there are no easy answers. But I think it starts with awareness.
Yeah.
With recognizing the power of these online platforms and the very real impact they can have on our lives.
And with being more critical consumers of information, not just accepting everything we see and hear online, but taking the time to verify sources, to consider different perspectives, and to engage in respectful dialogue, even when we disagree.
Because at the end of the day, the internet is a reflection of ourselves. It's up to us to decide what kind of world we want to create online.
And what kind of world we want to live in offline.
Well said. Well said. Until next time, dear listeners, stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, stay engaged.
And don't forget to wear your tinfoil hats.
Hey, now some of us believe in aliens.
Okay, fair enough. But maybe just a small tinfoil hat, just in case. Till next time.